Howdy, howdy, howdy.
What's up, you Intus freaks?
What's up, little toady?
You little test tube babies.
Vat baby. Hello, welcome back.
Hi. How's it going?
Book 2 is better. I'm Avery.
I'm Travis.
Today,
Hear me roar.
Howling Dark, chapters 30 through 57. Am I right?
30 through 56?
I did 57.
I don't think I did
You
57.
told me 57.
You
didn't.
I meant
Wait, you didn't do
until
57? Fuck. You
It was
missed
a
some
long
really funny
chapter.
stuff. You missed some funny stuff in 57.
Dang
Well,
it.
we'll cover it next time. It next time.
It felt like a good
Okay.
stopper. It's really hard, I have to say, to figure out where to stop in a book when you haven't read it before. So you kind of have to
Yeah.
we're trying to do 3 parts per book, and sometimes it lines up very nicely. But this one was hard. I felt like
Yeah.
if we kept going, we'd have to keep going till like 85% of the book or something.
Yeah, until you feel a real cliffhanger. Well, listener, for purposes of the summary that's coming up, it's through 57. So,
Damn it. Well, I'm going to learn something
hopefully
today.
you've read that. Travis, light spoilers for chapter 57,
It's okay.
which
I
I
know,
read,
I know what I'm doing today after we get off.
which I read about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, you're good at catching up like the day before we record.
Yeah, that was my weekend, was reading this entire section of Howling Dark.
My problem, I get excited and then I read it all really fast, and then I have to wait a week for you to actually catch up.
Yeah, I carved out a whole Saturday morning. Coffee, sit with Billy.
Adrian.
Yeah, Billy and Hadrian. Billy is my cat, and he's wonderful. We had a little
This morning
couch
was
time.
great. I watched Formula One, and I
Ooh,
had a coffee,
good season.
had a smoothie, and I had a little clean my shower session, which felt it's like the twice a year thing you're supposed to do.
You know what I've been doing?
What?
Donkey Konging it up.
Oh,
It's a veritable bonanza in this house.
yeah. I've seen like 5 donkey videos on it, and I'm just not ready to approach the content yet.
Yeah, I think the content is not good if you haven't experienced a bonanza for yourself.
Yeah, and as a non-Switch 2 owner, I'm just gonna
Oh
pretend
my
like
God.
it never came out.
You fucking plebeian. I'm a Palatine. An owner.
Whatever, man.
You think the Chantry
I'm a
would let us
Japanese
have a
high
Switch
school
too?
student.
Oh yeah, you're at GekkoCon High.
Bro, you texting me that you were almost done with the game is the worst call of all time.
I thought it was based in data. Like, I truly thought I was like 75% done with the game. Am I not?
No, I think you're halfway.
Ouch. I don't know if I could do that much Tartarus.
You kind of just get it. You just get used to it.
Yeah, I need to get back into the rhythm. It's like jumping into a cold pool. Just got to get in.
Yeah. And now I'm trying to finish, which is not the best place to enjoy a game.
Yeah, any game that's like 100 hours plus, like the last 15 hours for me are like a death sprint where I just want to be done.
Yeah, you're just prepping for the last boss and trying to randomly do completions and stuff.
Yeah, like Baldur's Gate is probably my favorite game of all time. But the last 15 hours, I was like, I need to be free of Baldur's Gate. Like,
That's how I feel.
need
I'm
my
ready to
life
do
back.
something else.
My family's going to leave me if I don't well, no spoilers for Baldur's Gate.
All right.
Should we just hit this summary and just
I think
Hadrian
so.
it up? Okay.
How are we feeling? Let's do a quick little pulse check.
Yeah,
though.
check in.
How,
Pulse check.
We're midway through book 3.
We're past that, right?
Yeah.
Not
Well,
really.
We'll be talking about the midpoint of book 3.
Yeah,
But
yeah, totally.
I don't think before this journey, either of us thought we'd ever spend this much of our life talking about Hadrian. And we're still roughly halfway through Hadrian of this year. How do we feel about Hadrian right now?
I've had a lot of Hadrian. It is wild reading this many pages devoted to a single character.
Yeah.
A single character who is kind of interested only in himself. I'm not complaining. I'm enjoying this book, but what a wild way to structure an epic like this.
It's really interesting. I never, like, Hadrian is going to be in my mind more than, like, my best friends by the end of this year. Like, the name Hadrian, like, we've both been sitting at a concert or something and just been like, oh, I was just thinking about Hadrian for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was at Fish this past week, and I just had, like, a solid 5 to 10 minute stretch where I was just thinking about Hadrian.
And you know who else is thinking about Hadrian? Hadrian.
Hadrian. No one's thinking about Hadrian more than Hadrian. The
Nope.
poet, as they call him.
Yeah. This makes me think, like, I don't think I ever want to read an autobiography, like a real world autobiography.
You don't want to read Shoe Dog?
Okay, I read Shoe Dog.
Oh, you read Shoe Dog?
Yeah.
Was it good?
It's on my little shelf of like, do the hard things or whatever books.
Yeah.
Like all those like Harvard
Atomic
Business
Habits.
School case studies
Yeah.
built into long form.
Yeah.
It was fine. It's clearly like Hadrianized in the sense that he's like, I went into a Japanese business meeting and just saved the day. And then you read like third party accounts and it's like, yeah, this was really standard. He did not much at all.
It was one call among 10 on that day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That should be your move. What's your favorite book? I don't know. Powder
Shoe
Mage,
Dog.
Black Prism, or Shoe Dog, if I had to pick. You understand my taste.
Yes. Yes.
There was a time where I didn't seriously pitch it, but I was like, wouldn't it be funny if we just had a podcast only about businessmen's autobiographies?
I think it would be really fun.
I think I would spiral. I don't think I could take that.
Yeah. Well,
Hadrian's enough.
My last thing on the meme I sent you this morning is a guy on Twitter showing a pile of like 71 books, saying I finished every Horus Heresy book. This took me 7 months. The response: Are they good? No. That's how I feel we may end up at the end of this year. What'd you just spend the year on? Hadrian. Was it fun?
Should I read it? No, I don't think so. I don't know.
I do.
Catholic?
I think there are some people I will absolutely recommend this series to, and there's some people that I will never tell them I read it.
Yeah, this is going into my Wheel of Time category of I must vet you thoroughly before I offer this recommendation.
Yeah, like telling someone to watch an anime. You need to know what kind of freak they are first.
Yeah. What is it called? Food Stars?
Food Wars.
Food Wars? Yeah, how big of a freak are you? Are you a Food Wars guy or are you like a Demon Slayer guy? You gotta know.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm still in on Howling Dark. I gotta say.
I'm in. The world building is still super fun. I want to see what happens. Some of the things that, like, he writes battles really well. He writes space really well. I don't know. There's stuff I'm really enjoying.
Yeah, some of the politicking was like a little bit hit or miss for me, which we'll get into. But I thought some of it was done quite well. Shout out the Empress, man.
Yeah, great character.
She nasty.
Grand Inquisitor. Really wish we got more of her. But
yeah, what the
I
hell?
don't want to jump the gun. Get us into the summary first.
A lot of kissing of rings and feet. Yeah. Okay, should we do the summary?
Yes.
All right.
I'm ready. Hit me.
Can you cue up the Daft Punk for me? There we go. All right. General Grievous is dead, and Hadrian Marlowe returns to the Forum a hero. His prize for his stunning victory? The re-establishment of the sci-fi harem. It seems we readers share in Hadrian's successes. Hadrian completed Mission Impossible, and the Emperor decides to bring the Empire's latest cult hero into the fold by betrothing him to his hot-ass daughter, Selene. You'd think Valka would be upset, but no. 'Tis no big problem. Jedians don't believe in marriage, so she's more than happy to be in a throuple. Hadrian, not so much. Unfortunately for Hadrian, not everyone is thrilled about his victory. Valka survives an assassination attempt from a very literally named weapon called a knife missile, and Hadrian is made the subject of a sham investigation by the Chantry. Thank God his cigar arm is completely analog. With the help of Lorien, who may or may not have muled a recording of Hadrian's death off the Tamerlane, Hadrian is able to solve the murder mystery and clear his name in the Chantry investigation. It would have been cool if we'd seen literally any of the actual smuggling mission, but this is Hadrian's book, damn it. After Hadrian leaves what must be his 30th prison cell of the series, Hadrian is invited to a display at the Colosso because Ruocchio simply cannot help himself. And one of the shithead sons of the Emperor suckers him into a feud by rightly noting that Valka has an absolute dumpy. Again, because Ruocchio simply can't help himself, Hadrian is forced into combat in the Colosso as punishment for his disrespect of the prince. The fight doesn't go particularly well, but Hadrian is saved by the power of Brazilian melting powder. I kind of preferred pocket sand, but that's just me. The Emperor decides that Hadrian isn't great for his home life, and he agrees to let Hadrian visit the archive on Colchis, where, surprise, old boy Tor Gibson is alive and well. The boys kiss, and Gibson agrees to aid in Hadrian's quest to learn about the Declaration of Independence. If this book doesn't end with Hadrian and Nicolas Cage trying to steal it, I'm going to be sorely disappointed. End.
Well done.
There we go. That's what happened.
A lot of dumpy references in there.
So much dumpies.
Just
I knew
Donk
everyone was hot,
Central.
but I didn't know everyone is caked up like this.
Yeah, you never know because, yeah, I don't know. He's not real descriptive in a lot of his writing, so you never really know how anybody looks.
Unlike Brandon Sanderson, he's an ass guy. Sanderson, very much a boobs guy.
Yeah.
And Robert Jordan, unquestionably a boobs guy.
Sanderson's a morality kind of guy.
Is he?
Yeah.
He gets turned on by fighting for what's right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Also,
And
the only thing you got wrong in your summary is that Valka
No.
is Tavrosi, not Jadian.
Fuck. You're right. That's
That's
only
the
been
first and
mentioned
only time I'll
3,000
ever
times.
fact check anything on the podcast.
Well, I wrote that in about 3 minutes, so
I'm just proud that I actually know something.
listener, I'm so sorry.
You've
If you're
ruined
this
it.
deep into Howling Dark, you also know that I'm wrong. So
Yeah, I guarantee someone was like, no, in the middle
not
of you reading.
Jadian. Octavius Jadian and maybe a homunculus, but not. Man, I didn't realize how tall and jacked Octavia was. That's definitely
Yeah.
been mentioned, but I feel like it really came to the fore here. She's
Yeah.
a beast.
She's huge.
Cameron
She's
Brink,
ripped. Yeah, speaking of Cameron Brink, saw some great WNBA action last night.
do you go?
I did. I had a great time.
Liberty?
Liberty, that's my third game of the year.
Wow.
Big fan.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, they're fucking awesome, man.
Do you know there's a... Oh, go ahead.
I was to say the game winner though it was 99-99, and it was an awesome game. 4 seconds left. LA inbounds the ball, and the woman does loses control of it with her back to the basket and just
Yeah.
fingertip hurls it up and sinks a no look granny shot reverse
That's sick.
layup to win. It was the worst schoolyard shot you've ever seen. I've never seen an arena go quiet faster.
Those are the only shots I attempted in my adult IM league in Portland.
Yeah, with your 2-2-2 stat line.
Yeah. I take 2 shots. I make... No. Yeah, two shots, 2 rebounds. That's about it, really.
2 crying sessions after the game.
And 40 to 50 passes because I hot potatoed the rock as soon as I got it.
Get this ball out of my hands. I don't
I think
want this
2 dribbles
responsibility.
is probably right. I was not trying to dribble.
Klay Thompson over there.
Yeah. Where are we going? Okay, we covered Octavia being gigantic.
Yeah. Some good
okay.
fan art on Reddit I saw of her recently.
Oh, they had her so jacked.
She was so tall.
I
She
think
was
that's what
huge.
put it in my mind because I saw the fan art. I was like, why is she so jacked? And then I was reading. I was like, oh, she really is jacked, isn't she?
Yeah. It reminds me of the Redwall character depiction.
Oh, the size chart?
She's
Yeah.
the Badger.
Yeah, she's very much old Constance Badger.
Constance.
Yeah, that's
Um,
her.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Should we
let's
start
do it.
back at the Forum in
Let's
the
do it, baby.
betrothal arc?
Yeah, he's home. He's hero. His cult is growing.
It is. The legend has expanded. So the interesting thing that I thought about this arc is it felt very repetitive. It felt very count and countess and daughter of whatever that old planet was.
Amesh.
Amesh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it very similar plot elements in my mind.
Yeah, he's just gone up like a tier level. The daughter is hotter. The dad is more powerful.
Yeah.
Et
We
cetera,
even-
et cetera.
We even get a little recycling of of the descriptions of hotties. There was a description of, what was it, Celine? All the art of the high college was in the porcelain lines of her body. It's the same as that first time you saw the Empress.
Yeah. If a shepherd had seen her, he would have wept and thought of the writings of Shakespeare.
What is a goat's opinion to such beauty or whatever the hell that
What
was?
does a goat think about Celine? That's what I want to know.
Let's eat some,
but yeah.
munch some grass.
So the emperor, against the advisement of his counselors, decides he's going to bring Half Mortal into the fold, marry him off to his daughter.
Yeah.
Seems like a reasonable decision to me, rather than just having a rogue cult leader floating out there. Bring him into the fam.
I think it's a good, it's kind of the, you keep your friends close and your enemies closer kind of thing. He's a little worried about Hadrian.
If you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, let's use all of our aphorisms. I have a question. How many daughters does the emperor have?
Like
Because
100?
he has 430 sons or something, right?
Yeah, he's got a ton. And it turns out being the first son kind of means you're definitely not going to be heir to the throne, which is
Yeah.
interesting. Because
Yeah,
they
it's
just
mainly
kind
just so
of,
you can have an old enough replacement.
yeah, they pop out like an insurance baby immediately from the vat so that you have an heir. And then after that, well, then the problem is they're all going to live to be 10 billion years old.
Right.
So by the time you get to that point, you're basically as old as your dad.
Yeah.
So yeah, it turns out you middle son, kind of where you want to be.
I do kind of like the idea that in royalty in this universe, you just pick your favorite. There's no like hereditary lines.
Yeah.
Kind of nice. Yeah.
Well, bit Hadrian in the ass.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a big hoss like Crispin behind you. What are you gonna do?
Well, Crispin got to live that
Speaking
himself.
of,
Speaking of,
we'll get there. We'll
we'll get there for sure.
Does it strike you as weird that in this far future society with antimatter and high matter swords and traveling at the speed of light, that the royalty is like all inbred and society is generally Roman? Does it bother you ever, does it?
It does bother me. Like it bothers me that they haven't found cooler stuff. Like I do kind of wish. Like I know Ruocchio wants to reference the things that are important to him in terms of classics, but there's parts of me that like I wish they would reference made up material sometimes.
Yeah.
Like didn't somebody write a treatise some point past the year like 1857?
That's another thing. Yeah, that is something that has really struck me. Is like he's taken the concept of the Dark Ages and expanded it to roughly everything from after World War I to the present.
Yeah, it's
Nothing of consequence.
20,000 years
yeah.
basically of nobody wrote anything interesting enough.
Yeah, I guess the justification would be that was the stuff leading up to like the war with the Americani stuff, and that stuff was like rightly wiped out. Would that be the explanation for this?
You would think there's like some new philosophy. So okay, here's an interesting parallel. I know Ruocchio likes Asimov, and I've been watching Foundation, the
nice
loosely set on Asimov's Foundations, and
yeah,
that's an interesting thing because it's like the same expansive empire, and it's almost like shot for shot. It's like this long intergalactic empire, like 12,000 years into its reign or whatever. But the interesting thing about it is that there's a new philosophy that shakes things up.
Yeah.
Like the psychohistory is what they call it in Foundation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that does feel a little missing here. Like it feels like a creative gap to not reference something that could have happened in 15,000 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's sort of what I was pointing at is like we've reverted to these classical political structures, and everything they're doing philosophically is just like a spin on Stoicism or whatever. Right. And it seems like with all his reading, he certainly could have come up with maybe a structure more unique to this world or just lines of thinking, building on kind of what he knows. But I don't know. I mean, I guess he just loves this stuff, and so why not put it in?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the only philosopher I didn't know, I feel like reading it, was his best buddy that he threw in there, which I thought was really cute.
Yeah, we got a little we get a reveal towards the end of this section that we know who Tor Gibson is named after. I believe it's someone named Christopher Marcus Gibson.
Yep.
I looked him up. He's like a professor at Princeton, Catholic guy. Turns out good buddies with Ruocchio, and he just dropped in a lovable character named after his best friend.
That made me
Isn't
really
that
happy.
sweet?
It made me really happy. And
Yeah,
also made me wonder, where's my character in your book, Avery?
You're Vic.
Oh, no.
Listener, that is the autistic villain.
Oh, no.
No. The truth comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he's back home on the forum. Celine's in play. Celine seems kind of like a good egg. Throw it out there.
Celine seems pretty nice, and I think she actually comes off pretty well this whole book. Like, she's very reasonable. She's not pushy. She actually kind of like throws him a few solids behind the scenes with Alexander, who he viciously insults at the very beginning of this section.
Oh yeah, that was unfortunate.
Drunk at the party talking to Valka, and Alexander's doing the classic hide behind the pillar.
Yeah,
he's like, I never wanted that little shit on my ship.
Yeah.
Fuck that kid.
Though true, not something you want to say to someone directly.
And not something you want to say to a prince.
Yeah. I kind of thought there was going to be more fallout from that.
Yeah, I mean, I
I feel
guess
like
there
they kissed and made
was.
up.
They kissed and made up. I think Celine, it seemed like, really pulled some strings there, but I guess it all carried over into. I think the point of it being a point of like contention between Alexander and Hadrian was probably to set up the Empress and her
Yeah.
dislike for him, because it goes from "you insulted my son" to "you insulted my other son" to "you insulted my other son."
You really don't fuck with my sons.
It's like, what's wrong with you?
Why are you dating a divorcee witch with a fat ass? How about that?
That is the main plot point of
Yeah.
half of the
It
section.
also, like, yeah, it didn't really shake out in that much interesting stuff between Alexander and Hadrian, but yeah, Empress stuff, and it also kind of added to the murder mystery arc because you're wondering if
Yeah.
Alexander was kind of behind it all. So it did have its like plot purposes, even if they
Yeah.
kind of sorted things out like adults later on. So
Yeah. But I think the most interesting part of this first kind of political and scene setting section of the forum, it's like two things. Like, he keeps romanticizing the idea of like old men loyal to the empire, which we talked about a little in previous
yeah,
episodes. And then he also like is very defeatist. Like, he acts like he's just a cog in the machine and has no choice or agency anymore. It's a weird look at Hadrian that I'm not used to be honest.
yeah. I mean, he's dealt with like lack of agency in the past. I wouldn't say it was like undue here though, because once he gets back from his mission, which to be fair was meant to be a failing mission, um, he's kind of stuck on the planet until the Emperor tells him otherwise.
Yeah.
You think
Is
he
he
should be
though?
happy? I don't know. Kind of.
I don't know. I feel like the Hadrian of old is piping up in meetings. Like, his first time on forum, he's talking to the emperor when he's not supposed to. Like,
Yeah.
every political conversation, he's tried to like step outside of his lane, and it's weird to see him like accept his lane. Like, oh,
Maybe
I'm so much less than these princes. I think it's part of the thing that he's like really romanticizing the empire itself. Like,
he has too much respect for the descendants of the kings of ancient France.
yeah, and even the lions,
The
right?
Lion Party.
Yeah, who are all written as stodgy old dudes who want to kill him and have very few redeemable qualities. He says stuff like, he's like, I've always found the idea of them terribly romantic, stolid knights defending not the false memory of an empire that never was, but cleaving to the dream of what it might be, whatever its faults, what it must be.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah. No, he refers to himself as like conservative a few times. And yeah, he's very invested in tradition, which sort of tracks, right? Like, isn't that a decent amount of the appeal of Catholicism is like tracking it back to this larger tradition and just like participating in ancient rites or whatever?
I think
I
it's
went to
true.
Catholic high school.
You did. I think it's more like maybe in the arc of Hadrian development, he used to be a bit more of like a anti-chantry, anti-empire. I'm going to forge my own path and find my own solutions. And now he's kind of settling back into maybe they were right all along. Maybe I should just be a part of this thing.
Listen to your dad.
Yeah, he's becoming his dad.
Yeah. Are you trying to alley me into the quote that I
No,
highlighted? That was beautifully
I've been
done.
the good. All right, hit it.
Okay, this is a sort of long excerpt, but I'm going to read it all. Here we
Good.
go. I'm talking to Celine. Hadrian, of course. Who else would be talking?
Nobody.
I wasn't sure I believed in villains at all, I said shortly. Or I believed we all were villains, the Cielson and us. I smiled down at the saddle and the beast before me. Note, he's on a frickin' horse. And feeling an impulse, reached out and patted its velvety neck. All right, that's nice. Such relativistic thinking is always attractive to the young. Despising their parents, and through their parents all authority, they decide there is no authority but themselves, and therefore all knowledge which was and came before them is evil, and they alone wholly good. I despise the empire because I despised my father, who was its chief representative in my young life. Seeing his authorities unjust, I decided there was no justice save that which I might make myself. I believed that I alone had the wisdom to set the world right, not knowing then that true wisdom lies in knowing that I did not possess that wisdom and never would. React.
Yeah. I mean, so it's putting at this forefront what I was just saying around he used to be rebellious, and now he's
Mhm.
kind of hitting the generation where, like, you're like, oh, Gen Z's so weird. What what music are they listening to? Why are they such punks? Why do they
Why are
suck
they?
at being in the workplace?
Why are
And then you're like,
guys
wait,
trimming their eyebrows?
yeah, it's the generational shift where you become the adult and you have to
Yeah.
look at your teenage self and you're like, what a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
But in this case, he's like a ninth into his life as opposed to halfway into his life as a normal
Yeah.
human. I think the last part of that excerpt points to maybe who's actually writing this and who's narrating it, which is old Hadrian that knows all his mistakes. So it's not actually that representative of him at the time. It's like because he knows he blew up planets and maybe did bad things later on in life.
Yeah.
He wasn't actually that wise any of the times he thought he was
Yeah.
in the right.
I think my issue with this is it feels true of himself. Like he seems to be accurately describing his own reaction to his dad and kind of the empire generally. But he expands that and says like that is just the way that youth is generally, that they're like purely reactive and they don't like their parents or whoever is politically in charge, and then they're like, I'm the only person who knows what's right. And that I just don't think is really true of the way that younger people think. I think it's totally miscasting. Like you can't look at people who are like dissatisfied with the state of the Democratic Party and be like, you think that you are the only person who knows what's right. It's like, not really. I might think there's a better way of doing things, and many people agree with me on this, but like, I think it's pointing to a very specific type of like narcissistic young man. And it's also like this age issue we've talked about before, where it's like that is the thinking of like a 15 or 16-year-old, but it's being projected on to people who are supposed to be much older and much wiser, even if they are relatively young. And I just think, yeah, that's an argument against like fucking high schoolers, not against anyone who has any sort of life experience. And I also,
Here's my. Oh yeah, you go finish.
oh yeah, yeah. And one last thought too. It's like verging on this argument that like in the face of any uncertainty about what to do, you should do nothing at all. And it's like, this system is in place for a reason, and you shouldn't just try to change it because you don't really know. And like, that is such a recipe for leaving absolute fucking clowns in charge and not doing anything. It's like an anti-activism approach, which is like incredibly common thinking among conservatives generally. Like the thought that people who came before you knew more and were better intentioned. And I think like to the extent you know anything about anyone who's had influence in certainly in our country, that's not the case. It's usually people acting under nothing but self-interest. So like, why are they better positioned to make decisions than you? Not buying into that, but that's just whatever. That's where I'm coming from.
I totally hear you. And I actually want to pick up on that thread of like inaction as a theme for this part. But the last thing I'll say on the excerpt that you read is I'm going to overgeneralize about people I've met in my life. And I feel like there's a type of young man in particular who reads a lot of like classic novels and philosophy early on, like probably earlier than their peers, call it late high school, early college, and does very well academically and doesn't feel like they fit into their generation or their peers. They're like, why are they all talking about things that don't matter? And
why are you on TikTok?
Yeah, like why are you talking about like where the next bar is that you're going to go to when you should be really like Kant's golden rules for society? And
well, while you were out chasing ass, I was studying the blade.
Exactly. And that person tends to feel, I think, two things. Like one, that they were born in the wrong generation.
Yeah.
Like they wish they were born in a golden era that they see through particularly conservative ideals, like what we're seeing politically right now, like Make America Great Again from the 50s, where it was great for one very small portion of the population. Or they like kind of exit participation in their peer group and they want to hang out with like their professors or their teachers or adults. Yeah. And I don't know, I see that same thought here of like, man, nobody my age gets it and young people don't understand and they're not doing anything right. So we need to look to the classics and we need to look to the older people
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
That stuff, too, is like always rooted in an idealized version of the past. Because,
Exactly.
like, the past is unknowable, but kind of, in my opinion, people haven't really changed that much. I feel like people kind of act under the same motivations throughout history. And, like, to the extent that you're engaging only with the greatest thinkers from Rome or whatever and extrapolating that to say that it was a better, purer time, that's an absurd deduction to make.
Yeah, and
It's
the
like,
follow-up question always, for whom? For whom was it a better time?
yeah,
Like,
like much sillier example is people would do this with music and they'll be like, God damn, I really miss the music of the 70s, man. Everyone was listening to like Marvin Gaye and the best of Zeppelin or whatever. And that was maybe kind of true. But if you actually go look at like the Billboard charts from the 70s, it was still mostly crap. Like probably the same proportion of crap as we have now. Like, it's just like if you look at the best thinking or art or whatever from any period, it can look really good. But you weren't there. You weren't listening to I've got a brand new roller skate, you've got a brand new key.
mm-hmm.
That was way the fuck bigger than What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. So
I think the answer is just to be punk and always be
punk, man.
Yeah, fight the power.
Be an English boy with spiked hair smoking cigs.
Yeah,
That never goes out of style.
never. But for the sake of getting through the plot, yeah, I think the last point on this piece.
Anyways, Hadrian.
Yeah, I don't know. Hadrian is plagued by inaction in this period to me. He has a quote like, I was a tool, a faithful knight, a pawn moved by other hands with no will of my own, and pawns only move forward. It's just real weird. We don't see a lot of that Hadrian. I mean, we've talked about some of the reasons behind it, but it's the first time we've seen him just waiting for orders and being willing to follow them. Yeah, and so it's interesting like how that bleeds into his conversations with Falca too, as she finds out she's getting cucked royally.
Yeah, and she doesn't mind.
She doesn't mind. I was
Pretty
actually kind of
chill.
surprised.
Pretty chill about it. Yeah, I was really expecting a breakup scene. She was like, well,
She was
I'll
like,
be
"What's
your
the big deal?"
concubine," and yeah, NBD.
And
Those
he hates
Tavosi.
it. He hates it. He's like, he could have the world.
Yeah. Why does he want kids so bad? What's up with that?
Legacy.
Yeah. Tradition.
Every
You should
great
have a kid.
man needs a legacy. You know,
Every great man needs a big dumb son.
Braden.
Yeah, he wants his Braden. Okay, I feel like we've covered all the forum shit, at least the stuff we were going to talk about, except for when he comes across Lorien talking with a bunch of other scholars about which is the best general from the period roughly from Rome to the Civil War. And they do like a fantasy draft. Like, who would
so
you take
good.
first pick to fight this Yeltsin? Like, I would take Gustavus Adolphus.
Yeah. He's
Sure.
It's like Commodore Massa has insisted on Lord Wellington.
Yeah. And then Lorien's really dogging on a Union general from the American Civil War. Just whatever.
It's kind of awesome. I love that scene. Lorien's also just drunk. He stole wine from a party. What
Do you think this is a conversation Ruocchio's had in real life with his friends?
Yes.
I would bet the house on it.
Yes.
Okay.
The one thing, I don't think he writes drunk very well. I'll point that out. There's like 2 drunk scenes in this section. They're not great.
Everyone's drinking wine.
Yeah.
Why is no one drinking a Long Island iced tea? Okay, should we move on to the investigation and assassination arc?
Knife
missile.
Magic knife missile.
Knife missile. It's a sentient knife.
Knife missiles are fucking sick.
They're pretty scary, dog. Did you
It's
see
like
that it was...
It's like a shank that just flies and keeps stabbing you.
Yeah, stab. It keeps stabbing. You know what she stopped it with? A book.
Hand.
Symbolism.
Oh, wait, what did you
it was a
stop with
book.
the book?
Yeah.
That's so sick. Oh my
God,
God.
defied with the power of knowledge. Always keep a book handy, folks. Ideally, a hardcover.
Is that the second potential Pratchett reference in this book?
Oh. When Carrot literally throws the book at someone and guards.
Throws the book and he stops like the attack with the book as well. But there was another one. I gotta find this real quick.
Ruocchio likes Pratchett. Who doesn't like Pratchett?
The Primate runs the library. Did you catch that?
Yes, I was wondering.
Yes, I was like, oh my god, is this a reference to
Oh, I would
Ratchet?
love to know that. Yes, the fucking librarian from Discworld. What a
Yeah.
wonder. Yeah, Primate
So
was
that
really throwing me off, but when I started thinking about that orangutan, I
mhm.
was really in.
I
So
got really excited about that. I'm glad you
yeah,
caught that too.
that's my
That's like
headcanon.
if we ever interview Ruocchio, that's one of the top questions for me.
We got to get him on and only ask him our dumbest questions. Have you ever
How
had a
big is
fantasy
Volka's
draft of
ass?
generals? Whose ass were you thinking of, Volka? And is the orangutan a character here? Um.
Oh
Okay.
man.
How'd you
But
find
anyway,
the investigation assassination arc?
so at first I was really interested because the new cast of characters was very cool. Like the Grand Inquisitor that
Yeah.
comes to interview him, he goes through like a chantry interview, which is basically like a Rorschach lie detector test,
Yeah.
which was kind of weird.
To see if he
Um,
was still human.
yeah, and I loved like I thought we were getting in an Assassin's War arc, which we kind of did.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got very like Jade City excited about that. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe he's gonna run around the forum, getting in like gang wars and stuff. But then Hadrian in jail just kind of sucked the life out of it, and only getting first person really, really made me sad.
Yeah, because there's this really great setup where the person who's actually doing the lie detector test slips him a note and just says, like, here's the deal. Here's who tried to kill you.
Hmm.
Hadrian confers with Lorien and is like, you need to get the fuck off this ship and get this information to the powers that be. And what happens behind the scenes is like an insane heist arc where Lorien and the crew maybe stick a video of Hadrian in their ass and crawl through a vent and get out and like get the information. We don't get any of that. We just get Hadrian sitting and waiting, and then Lorien comes back. It's like, I did it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And he was like all battered and bruised, and
Yeah.
Krim and Polina are like in the medical facility. They clearly had a sick adventure.
Yeah. And Lorien pointedly is like, I'll tell you what happened later. We're not going to
Yeah.
hear about that. There's no way.
I really hope. I mean, we're not going to get any third person flashbacks. That's been very clear. This would have been the time. The only third person we've slightly got is when Hadrian was literally dead for
Yeah.
60 seconds.
And arguably, when he gets his revenge by planting a bomb on the old
Yeah.
French guy's ship, that was sort of like a piece of reporting, right? He obviously wasn't there, but he like
Right.
recreated the scene. That
That's
was
what-
really great, by the way. I really
but, like,
loved.
Why not put that in for Krim and Lorien's adventure? Like, why not have them do a report and it's one chapter and we get some actual side character development? Because it would be so fun.
And Hadrian can narrate it because
Yeah.
Lorien would have told him the story. Just put it in, man.
Exactly. Just put it in. I want to know.
Yeah, that's a bummer. Like, we could have maybe cut him and Celine riding horses through the forest and
The Arch
gotten-
of Titus first steps. Like,
Oh my
for
goodness,
an
Arch of
entire
Titus. I
section.
feel like we were going to talk about the Arch of Titus.
I don't want to talk about the Arch of Titus. I'm
No.
over Roman stuff.
We went long. We talked about Marvin Gaye too long. I think we got to
Yeah.
keep cooking.
So I guess the interesting thing here is he finds out. I mean, he works his way up the chain. He figures out who's trying to assassinate him. Who I guess assumedly worked with Udax to assassinate him with
Yeah.
the Irkitani. Those are the worst pronunciations I've ever made
That's
of
close.
those two things. But yeah, it's a mix of the Chantry and some of the lions.
Yeah. Not fucking with him.
No.
Chantry's kind of back, man.
Yeah, Chantry feels like it's gonna make a big splash again. Like they come up
Yeah.
twice in this with their tactics and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
a good reminder of how scary they are.
I do, I kind of think of them as like the stock incompetent villain.
The like stormtroopers can't hit their shots. kinda
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. Like they're always trying to do something, but they're never really going to succeed, are they?
I mean, the one thing that felt unrealistic about this is it took them like 4 weeks to try to plant evidence on the ship.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it just take a day?
Yeah,
I
you'd
don't
think
know.
you'd just drop something in a cabinet and that would be about
Yeah.
it.
So that's the one interesting part. But yeah, the Chantry's back. I think the thing that made it click a little bit more in this section that they're scary is that they are the ones who control technology. Like they're
Yeah.
the ones who confiscate technology and patrol it. And so they can use it against people who don't have good defenses. Like they
Yeah.
can send a sentient knife missile at you. But you're not allowed to have a computer.
Yeah. And they do hold sway. Like
Yeah.
if they had successfully planted evidence, I think he did convey pretty well the consequences of that, which are apparently death by fire.
Yeah.
You get torched.
There was a small note when he talks to the Emperor later that I thought it was interesting. He's like, the Emperor could just put me in a fugue and send me off to a different planet and forget about me for 200 years and solve all his problems. I actually thought that was fascinating.
But
like, what a good way
hilarious.
to...
Yeah.
Yeah. When people are regularly missing decades of their lives, like, how do you remember people?
You're going to wake up in another time entirely. And he theorized that this has happened to other people who maybe got a little too big for their britches.
Right.
Yeah,
And why
makes
not?
sense. Yeah, makes sense.
How does anybody remember anything? People just are gone for 30 years. I don't know.
Unless
Anyway.
you get Valka's Neuralink.
Yeah, fuck yeah. But
Okay, so
he gives a petty ass speech to the council when he's exonerated. Love that. Classic Hadrian.
Yeah, kind of interesting, but I did like that when he actually presented the evidence, people took it and were like, well, that was bad. They shouldn't have done that. And people paid the price.
Yeah. To a certain degree. I mean, Bourbon clearly was responsible, but walked away. He's one layer of separation beyond it.
Still corrupt, but there is still some functioning justice system, and there are some rules in place that have to be observed. Namely, don't try to assassinate a Knight Victorian.
Yeah, it's not a kangaroo court, which is good.
Yeah.
And then he puts... So the other part of this is he puts Valka on ice after she gets attacked. So she's just sleeping for the next, 500 pages.
While he was dating Celine.
Yeah. And she's coming to the ship. Imagine bringing your mistress over while you gave sleeping pills to your wife. That's the equivalent.
I'd love to meet her. Where is she? Oh, she's
in a different place.
Don't worry about her.
She's cool with this.
Yeah. Turns out she is cool with it. Yeah. Okay. So that happens. He's free. He's released from his prison cell on the Tamerlane. And we're fucking back. Colosso time.
Woo!
You were in. I was pretty out.
I love the Colosso. I love the first Colosso. I love the second Colosso.
And the third you're going to love too, because
when it's the exact same invitation from the daughter of the person running the planet that you're on.
Yeah.
To their private box, the Colosso. Yes.
Here's the deal. I was out until I was in, because that fight scene was really great.
So I did kind of like the reveal that the Empress just fucking hates him.
Yeah.
And that she is a lot smarter than she was letting on, or at least that Hadrian was giving her credit for. She puts her... First of all, she insults him a bunch and makes him crawl to kiss her feet.
Yeah, that was tough.
That was real, dude. That was maybe the lowest point of Hadrian in all of the books so far, is when he got on his knees to do it. Celine and Alexander bail him out. Shout out Alexander coming back.
Yep. But
then his other shitty brothers get into the old drunk argument making.
Yeah.
Calls says Valka is a dumpy.
And said he wants to bury himself in that ass. It's like, oh.
And that's a step too far for Hadrian.
You're nasty. I can't even blame Hadrian. That's a crazy thing to say about someone.
But also the Empress, turns out, just set it all up so she could, in essence, set up another duel. Very Gilliam Vass-esque.
Prince Edward, I need you to say that you want to bury yourself in his girlfriend's ass. Can you do this for me?
And, okay, the one thing that was really unbelievable in this is that Hadrian had no idea who he was fighting. I thought it was incredibly clear who he was going to fight the whole time.
The big jacked guy?
Yeah. In the first time he meets Prince Philip, he's bragging about his amazing Jadian personal warrior.
Well, here's the deal. I had no clue who he was going to fight. So you're a little more tapped in than I am.
Well, I think it was a product of I've seen this guy's name once. His only character element was that he had a warrior. The second time I see him, he's like, you're going to fight a duel on my behalf. You're clearly going to fight the guy, the only other guy that got mentioned in this whole book who can fight.
Yeah, I should have seen that coming. But I don't know.
The Hadrian didn't. He wasn't ready.
No. The guy was kind of a badass. Fortunately, he had melting goo in his blood.
Dude, that was gnarly. Well, yeah, I mean, leading up to it, Hadrian catches the High Matter lightsaber blade in his bare hand.
Oh, yeah. He's got a shield arm now.
And that's
Kinda cool.
obviously gonna, I mean, that's super cool. And everybody
Yeah.
in the entire universe is gonna think it's super cool.
Yeah, because no one knows that he has an adamant arm. They're just like, this man is God. Look at him.
Yeah. It's like he cannot die. He literally cannot ever die.
I like that the warrior kept slapping his blade aside. Whap. Yeah.
Whap. I do wish
That's
Hadrian
great.
did a little pocket sand.
There's no sand out there. I feel like they were fine.
But yeah, the poison is called dysphalide. And it
Yeah.
was terrifying. It reminded me of Indiana Jones.
Oh, Temple of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where they
Horrifying
melt.
stuff as a kid.
Yeah, just real scarring. But yeah, I thought overall, love the Colosso. I love all duels written by Ruocchio. I have
Very
to say,
good at
he's batting 1,000 on like 1v1 fight scenes for me. So that's fun.
Fight scenes generally have been pretty banging, and Empress's plan backfires horrendously.
Yes.
This man is more of a god than he's ever been.
Yes. And I think, okay, there was one pivotal, let's tie Hadrian's character development in the section together here, where at the beginning of this section, he's like, I'm just waiting for orders. I'm just a cog in the machine. And in the middle, he was literally waiting to be saved by his friends. He had no agency to protect himself. And then this section, when he's like about to die by the Jadian guy, he's like, I thought about asking for the emperor to save me, but he was nowhere to be found. And so it is a little moment where he's like, I got to save myself. I can't wait on other people. I got to bootstrap myself to success with a small $100,000 gift from my parents. So it was cool. It was cool. I was like, okay, he's back. He is in charge, Hadrian, again.
Yeah. And speaking of, when all that's done, he goes to talk to the emperor and kind of reiterates his request to go to the library, as one does. Emperor says, kind of no. And Hadrian finally lays it all out there. It's like, all right, it's not really about the Americani. I'm researching the quiet, who are different, apparently. Well, no, we knew this. I don't know why I said that. And works out. Doesn't get thrown into a cell. Emperor also tapped in on the quiet and quite surprised that Hadrian knows what they are.
Yeah, I think it was interesting how much the emperor seemed to know, but also just like he seemed almost relieved to have somebody to talk to about it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm not crazy either.
No. Yeah, and Hadrian also says, like, I think I'm working for them, not for you. Just FYI.
Which is interesting. It's an interesting, like, statement to actually make out loud.
Interesting that Hadrian thinks that, too. He doesn't know shit about the quiet. Is he working for them, or is he just, like, acknowledging that they are pulling the strings and he is along for the ride?
I think maybe the latter, given the tone of the section. But it brings up a question that we'll probably ask many more times, which is bringing the quiet back good for the world?
Well, given the inevitable end of the series, TBD.
But I imagine we'll learn more there.
Yeah. So, request granted, library card. We're off to Colchis,
which is Scotland.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking the PNW, just because it's rainy and nice. But yeah,
but castles. Right, it's the PNW with castles, which is Scotland. Yeah,
that's Scotland. Yeah, you're right. I love it. He said it's his favorite planet. It's very cool, too, to arrive to where President Hadrian is.
Yeah.
He's in, like his same cell and shit.
Exactly. He's in Tor Gibson's the OG Gibson, his buddy Gibson's little writing room. But yeah, we knock on the gates. We tell them we have the Emperor's signet ring that lets us in anywhere. And they say, go fuck yourself, bud.
I'm a novice. I'm taking orders. And I have conflicting orders, and I don't know what to do.
Your father smelled of elderberries.
Very much so.
Yeah.
That was cool. But they get in, inevitably.
Yeah, they get in. He gets to explore a huge-ass library with Volka, who's just memorizing everything.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Learns to read English in a week. Pretty sick.
Yeah. Some terrible Volka sections here, though.
Yeah. 'Tis driving me fucking crazy, man.
There is one, it's page 405, that I, threw the book down, basically, because I think she says 'tis 5 times in one paragraph. And then just when I thought I was through it, she drops a twill.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, here it is. "'Tis," she insisted. "Maybe 'tis your turn to go in the box. I should not pick at these scabs. We should both be happy. 'Tis not Palermo or Athenvar, this place, but 'tis better than your war."
Ugh.
And then the next one, "Oh, 'twill be better than a mesh."
Man.
That was
Stop.
rough. Why?
Stop.
It wasn't
Crazy.
even bad. The whole book, it wasn't even bad. There were like a couple. And then he had to throw 5 in one paragraph.
I thought it was bad the whole time. Throwing that out. It's just, it's so tough because it's like that should not affect my enjoyment of the book. But it's getting to like Wheel of Time, braid tugging and crossing arms beneath breasts level of like, when that's said again, it's all I can see. It completely takes me out of the moment.
I think what you said a couple episodes back is sticking with me, which is that like a speech impediment is not character development.
No.
Like just having her say "'tis" does not make her unique or likable. I will say, with the caveat, in this book, the side characters get far more love than any of the previous two. Like,
Yeah.
Valka does get a lot of development and speaking lines here. She passes the Bechdel test for the most part. But
I completely disagree. What is she doing besides following Hadrian around? Does she have any agency?
yeah, okay.
I know, like, there's an answer, which is like she's doing her research or whatever, but do you really feel that? She's a complete hanger-on.
Yeah, you might be right. As I was saying that, the Bechdel test in particular out loud, I think she passes it less in this book than in any previous book, despite having a far higher like representation in this one.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. I do just find her to be a fundamentally uninteresting character, and if she didn't say "'tis," I don't think I could tell you shit about kind of what she believes, what she's really trying to do. There's just nothing there, and I think that's a big flaw for someone who's supposed to be this important in the story.
I think something's going to happen with her in this book. Like, I think because she's come up so much in this last section leading into the final third of the book, she's either going to like leave Hadrian, get killed, or get like kidnapped or something. I don't know. Something big is going to happen to her.
Agree. I've got my concerns for her well-being. There's also some interesting, what I assume is foreshadowing, when they enter the library and they're like, "This place sits on top of a nuclear bomb in case there's any Americani stuff in here."
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's going off. Chekhov's nuclear bomb.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we'll see. But I assume that'll be a very cool scene when it does happen.
I'd imagine so. I'd also like to give Ruocchio a little shout out here. That he's in a huge library and he could just be bragging about all the books that he has read, Ruocchio. And so far he hasn't. He's been very restrained.
Yeah. They have a full collection of the Reacher novels. I still think that would be funnier than having everyone read about Sisyphus and shit.
I mean, we're gonna read Reacher for one of our one-offs.
Yeah, we really need to. I'm so excited for that.
Would you rather do Reacher or Crime and Punishment?
Very tough to compare those.
Maybe the first time they've ever been compared.
I know which one I'll probably enjoy more on a page-to-page basis.
But what's good for us?
I would go neither.
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, to tie this up, the boys are back in town.
Hell
Old
yeah,
Gibson.
they are. That felt so good. The reunited.
Yeah, it's nice. It's like his one genuine friend.
Yeah. The
Where the
only
fuck's
guy who's
Switch?
known him.
Sorry,
From
I
old
was
Hadrian.
just like, where? I said friend. I was like, where's Switch?
I thought Switch would be behind the assassination attempts, funny enough.
Whoa.
And
Interesting thought.
turns out no, he may never appear again. And that's okay.
Dude, wouldn't that be interesting? What if Switch joins the Chantry or something?
That's what I'm saying. He has to have some sort of like
He's not gone. No.
villain arc, you know? He's been thrown out into the cold by Hadrian. But yeah, the Gibson reunited is really satisfying. Yeah, I did feel a little bad for Hadrian that he's telling Gibson all the stuff that happened to him, and Gibson's like, "I don't really believe that," and that must hurt. I'm just like, oh,
it does sound a little wacky when you drop it all there, But
Especially given the fact that Gibson's only been awake 4 years in the
that's
last like
nuts.
200.
Kind of unbelievable timing.
Yeah, very unbelievable.
It didn't bother me. It's just like
No,
crazy timing.
because they do talk about it all. It's like, this is where the Scholiasts end up. This is the place you ship them. And he literally got shipped freight by Hadrian's dad, which I thought was funny. That's why it took so long.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. But I'm very excited for this. I mean, I think the Ruocchio lore stuff is really interesting, and I assume this whole next section is going to be a lot of good Americani and quiet info dumping, and can't wait for that.
Yeah, I think some crazy shit's going to happen. There's no way we just end one of these books with a library section. I'd put the odds at like 1% this ends on the library. They're going to go somewhere else.
I disagree.
Whoa.
I think we stay on Colchis for the remainder of the book.
Okay.
I do.
Okay, we're going to see.
Yeah, we are going to see. So you unfortunately missed chapter 57.
Yeah.
Where they go into kind of the oldest, most ancient of the libraries that has all of the stuff related to the Americani. And you know what they find?
What?
Declaration of Independence.
Is that what the reference from earlier was? That's so sick.
Isn't that funny?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
fucking Nick Cage.
I know. So we got to
I
steal
also
that
think
shit.
National Treasure 1 is an underrated movie.
Yeah, you love that movie.
It's a good movie.
It's become such a meme that I don't even know if people like it or not. It's like Shrek. Like everyone talks about Shrek. Like to people, I think people still like Shrek, right?
Yeah.
Even though they have Shrek raves or whatever.
Yeah. Also, hot take. I don't think the Da Vinci Code is as bad as we've made it out to be.
It's probably not, dude.
Like, it was a great, crazy book for its time, and then it got vilified for a while.
It really did. That's
I kind of want to reread it.
That's one of my cultural predictions. Is that in 5 years' time, that's exactly the way that people are going to talk about A Court of Thorns and Roses. They're going to be like, we were under some sort of collective spell, and I don't know why we were so into this 19-year-old fucking a 3,000-year-old bat boy, but I think people are going to turn on Sarah J. Maas.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. Fads don't really last. Like, Beanie Babies were everything for 2 years.
And now it's Labubu's.
And now it's Labubu's.
Yeah.
There's always something. And then you look back and you're like, why the fuck did we spend so much money on that stuff?
Man, I was on a flight and I saw a baby was sucking on a Labubu. It's like, that baby has
expensive?
no clue. Yeah. I was like, that baby has no clue that people have literally killed each other over these things. It's just sucking on it.
I still don't know what it is, to be honest. I know the word.
You haven't seen one?
No. And I'm not even
ugly.
like trying to act like a fuddy-duddy, but I like truly don't know what they are.
They are ugly.
Yeah.
They're these little gremlin creatures with sharp teeth.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Really
but
weird.
Also, I don't think they're for me.
No. I think the last, maybe to cap it off, we learn what happened to Hadrian's family, which we've been wondering for quite some time. Crispin is still big and dumb and old. Not much happened there. But Hadrian has a surprise sister, Sabine.
You think she's a baddie?
I think she will play a part. I think she got set up to be kind of like smart and evil.
Yes, correct. Yeah, it seems like she's the competent one.
Yeah, he said she's his dad, basically.
Yeah. I mean, Hadrian's dad always knew that Crispin was kind of a fuck, right?
Right. But Hadrian was just a
back to
bigger idiot for a while.
Yeah. So no surprise there, but yeah, it does feel like we're getting teed up to get the Devil's Rest crew back, which I'm quite excited about.
Yeah. And then the last fun fact before maybe we do our least favorite passages of this section. Oh, yeah. The sign for warding against diamonds is the same as the Hawaiian shaka. And I thought that was funny.
Way.
It's just a
thumb and pinky?
Thumb and pinky extended, 3 fingers curled in the middle.
Wow.
It's just a shaka.
Mahalo, my friends. Please protect me
mahalo.
from the Americani demons. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to my my favorite Hadrianism, which I think we'll keep doing to end these episodes. I'm liking this.
It's too fun.
Hold on. Where is it? Okay, this one is this is a boring one, but it just felt classic, you know? It's just so vintage Hadrian. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
I shall linger only briefly with Director Breathnock and Lord Bourbon, for they return to our stage. Bravo.
I remember that one.
That was pretty good. He loves that, man. Enter scene.
That's so good.
Yeah. What do you got?
Okay. Here's mine. I think my theme is I'm trying to pick the most impenetrable statements of the book.
Yeah.
Who was it said? First of all right, sorry, I have to this is not me misreading it. Who was it said that our being only what we are remains our chief and unforgivable sin? What a pair of sinners we made, paper and fire, devil to one another.
Who was it said? Brother, no one said that.
The first 8 words of the sentence are, who was it said that our being only what? That's not a sentence.
7 years ago.
Yeah, that is page...
That's really good, yeah.
I don't know what page I'm on. 277. Chapter 35. So that was my favorite. I had to read it 4 times to figure out what the fuck he was talking about.
Hold on, I got one more.
Okay.
I was meant to woo the princess with my war stories, as the old Moor once wooed Desdemona. But I did not wish to be Othello, nor to meet Othello's end, nor did I desire this Desdemona.
Oh, that's great.
That's something. I love
There's
him
another
comparing
one
him. Yeah,
where he's talking to Valka at the end, and he says, courtesy is timeless. And I got the most milady vibes of all time.
Yeah, I opened the car door for my girls. Yeah.
After you, milady.
Put your coat over a puddle. Dude, can
any,
you imagine if you did that to someone? Why am I fucking stepping on your jacket? Put your jacket on. I'm not going to step on your jacket.
It's like, no, I don't want to touch you. You're wet and dirty.
Are you going to put your jacket back on after this?
Yeah. What are you going to do with that thing?
Yeah, you just put it right back on.
Yeah.
All right.
Any hot takes, predictions?
I think Valka's in the danger zone, as we
Agreed.
discussed. And then, I think that nuclear bomb onto the library is going off.
I think Gibson dies.
He's so old, man. Yeah. You think this is his last book?
Yes.
I don't think he survives the next book.
I don't think he survives this book. He dies in a library explosion.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Are the Cielson going to come to Colchis?
Why?
I don't know. Just
Where is
Colchis? Are we going to have the rest
know.
of the book with no Cielson?
That's a good point. Wow. I didn't think about it.
That's the only reason I brought it up. It's like, damn, are we just not going to get them?
Where's Cassandra Lynn?
He's listed in the humble reader. The index is kind of filled with spoilers. Throw that out there. I was trying to keep all the French princes straight in my brain. Went there, and it was like, people on Colchis. Tor Gibson. I was like, what the fuck? Like, all right, cool. I kind of figured he was around, but that feels like a little bit of a spoiler. So all I'll say is Cassander Lynn is in the index. I can't remember where he is. So he's somewhere and probably going to show up.
If Cassander Lynn is in the book, in the last part of the book, I think the Cielson are.
But Cassander's Team Hadrian now, right? He thinks he's a god.
Yes, but I feel like if there's a fighting, we're gonna get some Cassander.
He comes in to save the day, perhaps.
I don't know, but I'm excited. I'm ready to get through the end of this book. I want to get some reading in.
Yeah, I'm just ready for lore, man. I want some more Americani stuff. I want quiet.
Yeah. Give us more of this universe. It's gonna be good.
I really feel it. I mean, we're definitely gonna get it. They're reading for the next 200 pages. So.
And I'm ready to finally read Reddit posts that have Demon and White spoilers attached.
Oh my god!
I'll finish the book.
Unlocking a new spoiler tag really is it's a distinct joy.
One day will be all books spoilers, people.
Oh, can you imagine?
Incredible.
Okay, well,
cool.
And would love to. And
yes, thank you for the kind words that you have sent. You're all lovely.
Yeah, and if you do like the show and you have friends who read Hadrian, send it their way. That's the best way to help us.
Yeah.
Okay. On that note, I'm no Desdemona.
Okay, bye, friend. Love you.
Bye.